a caustic critic of secrecy and conspiratorial attitudes on the part of government. But can you take us beyond this negative appraisal and offer some practical principles for reform? Or in other words, is there a form of government which you believe is deserving of our trust?
I think that's several different. First of all, I don't accuse anybody of conspiratorial behavior. Conspiracy is a funny word. You know, it's used. We don't talk about it as conspiracy when we say that the Politburo met and decided to do something. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just rational analysis. The term conspiracy is used to try to undercut rational analysis of our own planning system. So there's nothing conspiratorial about the fact that U.S. planners decided to do something. That's their job. You know, it's not conspiratorial. They have a commitment to keep the public from knowing, and that's understandable too. In fact, to a substantial extent, the media have the same commitment. I've documented it quite substantially. And it's fear of democracy, primarily. I think that's what lies behind it. But then, turn to your point, I mean, are there practical proposals? Is there a form of government we can trust? There are plenty of practical proposals. In fact, I've been talking about practical proposals in one case, and we can go case by case and find lots of cases of practical proposals. They all ultimately rely on the same thing. People, human beings, you know, can figure out what their values are, and they're usually pretty much the same. And then they can ask how they can pressure the various systems of authority in which they live to act in accordance with those principles. Now, we're pretty lucky. You know, these are free and democratic societies, so you can pressure systems of authority without ending up in a ditch cut to pieces and, you know, after hideous torture. So we're lucky, you know. We have all sorts of ways of doing it. Other people aren't so lucky. They have harder ways of doing it, and they try. And, you know, it's astonishing that they do more than we do under our easy circumstances. So, like, say, George Adejandro has a much harder time than we do, but he's outspoken, you know. When you ask, is there a form of government we can trust? No, by definition. There is no form of authority that ever ought to be trusted, you know. You don't, and that ought to be second nature. I mean, you don't trust authority. What you do is challenge authority. You ask authority to justify itself. Well, maybe sometimes it can justify itself. If so, okay. If it can't, dismantle it. But certainly don't trust it. You know, you don't trust anybody but yourself.